Hello, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players around the world find their voice on the instrument to tell their own musical story. And today we have a guest teacher. In 2019, I decided to have guest teachers every once in a while. Don't worry, this is still very much the Wallerman channel, but every once in a while I thought it would be interesting to invite some teachers that I love and respect, because different perspectives sometimes bring a piece of light that helps you understand a concept. So that's why we're doing this. If you have an opinion on these, I would love to hear it. There's a poll somewhere. Let me know what you think about occasional guest teachers on the channel. Without further ado, we're going to watch a video on playing over anything, how to adapt melodic lines to truly play over any chord progression. And that is the subject of today's video, taught by my good friend, Chris Liepe. Chris Liepe, take it away.
Hey, my name is Chris Liepe, and I'm a guitar player, guitar teacher, writer, singer, and recording guy. And I'm collaborating with David Wallerman to help us play over anything. It seems like a tall order, doesn't it? Play over anything? Can we really play over anything? Yes. And anyone can play over anything. It's just a matter of training your ear to react quickly, efficiently, and in a certain way. And then engage the rest of your body, your voice and your guitar, to follow through with what your ear is hearing. And we don't need to overthink things. We just need to practice. So that's what we're going to do in this video. I've got a track that randomly, yes, randomly, changes keys. We start with what we're going to believe is a tonal center, and that is C. That's the only one that was generated strategically. The rest of the track was generated randomly. It could be any one of the 12 notes in music. What we're going to do is we're going to come up with a melody over C. And we're going to do that with our voice. And then we're going to learn it on the guitar. And then we're going to let this track play, and we're going to react to these changes with our melody. In other words, we're going to modify our melody to fit whatever change we hear. And we don't know what that change is going to be. And when I say melody, I'm talking 3 notes. We're not going to go for some complex melody. We're going to do something that is easy for us to remember and easy for us to adapt over the changes. Now, there is a catch here. We can't take our melody and just move it around verbatim with whatever change we hear. In other words, we're not modulating every time. We're not reacting as though we're modulating. We are reacting as though we want to keep the notes as similar as possible to the last change and adapt it within the same position. So here's the constraint. We're only allowed to go 1 fret or 2 frets per note difference when we move a note. So here's the basic track in C. Come up with a melody. And let's do that on the guitar. Okay, good enough. Da 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 da. That's our melody. Now we're going to go to the track that randomly changes chords. We don't know what the reason is. We don't know what the rhyme is. It's just going to change. And we're going to react with our voice, try to keep the melody as similar as possible to the original, but adapt the notes. Part of keeping it similar is by retaining that phrasing. Da 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 da. That's part of the hook of the melody. And as we're training our ear, let's keep the rhythm basically the same, so that as we adapt the notes, there's another aspect of familiarity. So here is our track. Da 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 da. C. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Just follow my voice. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. My rhythm is weird because I'm learning the changes. All right, I don't know if I got the melody quite exactly the way. That was it. Close enough, right? For the first part. Now, the track doesn't change every single time. It doesn't randomly generate every time. This track was generated randomly, but it's going to remain the same in the context of this lesson. So every time we go back to it, the changes are going to be the same, which is good for us. We are learning. We've been given a bit of information. We don't have a chart. We've been given some information that this is the way things are going to go. We don't know what the chords are. We could figure them out, but we're not even going to do that. We're just going to use our ear to react and adapt this melody with the changes we've been given. Let's do it again with our voice. Da 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 da. 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 Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. So after 2 times through, I was pretty much able to stay in rhythm and react to the changes in a way that seemed to work. And before I forget, you can download this randomly generated track and another randomly generated track for you to practice the same thing once you're finished watching the lesson. Now, the advantage to using our voice first is that we don't have to think about positioning. Even if you can't sing that well, that's okay. We're using our voice as a way to express what we're hearing, and we don't have positioning. We don't have fret numbers. So I actually don't really know if I stuck to our rule of going 1 or 2 frets only. I think I did, because everything was in, I wasn't going da 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 da. I wasn't moving around a bunch with my voice. I was trying to stick as closely as I could. So let's take it to the guitar now and see what happens. See if we can take what we were working with in our minds and expressing with our voice and adapt it to the guitar. Here we go. And it starts over again. So sometimes I didn't have to change at all. Sometimes the original pattern worked, but I was letting my voice inform my playing and then reacting with these 3 notes and trying my best to maintain rhythmic consistency. As we do this over more and more complex things, maintaining that rhythmic consistency and sticking with the track, even though you're taking us that split second to let your ear and your voice inform your playing. If you're playing simply enough, this is why we're not going for a whole scale or a whole thing all over the neck. If you're playing simply enough, you can begin to let this process take place and it'll happen faster and faster. So thinking back over the track now, having sung with it, having played with it, played and sung a little bit, and beginning to feel that fusion of ear to guitar over this simple melody, I'm going to try just playing and just phrasing with those 3 notes over this same track. Let's give it a try. All right, so there was one little place where I was getting behind in tempo. I wasn't sure, my ear wasn't working fast enough there. That's okay, but the difference between when I started with just my singing and even the last time when I played with my singing and my playing, the difference this time was really good. The random changes are actually starting to make a bit of sense because I'm gluing it together with this hook. That's the power of lead guitar. That's the power of having an ear that can take random things that are thrown at you and your ear can adapt creatively. Let's try it a couple more times. I'm going to take this same hook that I've developed and adapted, and I'm going to bring it up and down various octaves and just phrase with it, make it a little bit more artistic, get a little bit more comfortable over this chord progression, which I still don't even know what the chord progression is. And I don't care. I'm just making it sound as good as I can using my ear. So this is one of several ear training exercises that I've used over the course of my guitar playing life to play and react to things quickly, even when I'm unsure of what exactly is happening. I don't know what the chord progression is necessarily. I don't know what's coming, but using my ear, I'm able to react and modify what I'm playing. And the key component here is that we're keeping things simple. And as you develop this skill more and more, you'll be able to do so with more than just 3 notes. But for now, let the things that you sing, that your ear is informing your voice of, transfer to your guitar and keep things as simple as possible. And you'll find that when you're playing over a change and you're doing improvisation, for example, and you're doing more scalier sorts of things and reacting to changes, you're going to find that 1 or 2 or 3 note mantra is going to come back even in that. Meaning, you're not going to immediately go, oh, that change, I can play these 10 notes in this order and it'll work. No, you're going to go back to this. It's just going to start happening more quickly. Don't forget to download the tracks and try this for yourself. Remember, you get this track and you'll get one other randomly generated track so that you can do this all over again with a fresh set of changes and come up with your own melody too. And thank you, David, for letting me crash your YouTube channel and offer this perspective on playing over anything. See you around.